Dorian Murphy. He is the UK British airport a few years ago, but you have been Matt. And you're going to walk us through a little bit of Matt and Emma's display here as they taxi out. So Matt is at the north and Emma is at the south taxiway. So I'm not 100% certain what we're going to see in terms of the takeoff, but in...
To what it looks like today, every little bit of real estate on that thing has a bolted new toy onto it, so it's covered in weapons and sensors, so it's probably just a real estate thing where we don't have too much stuff painted on the side.
So tell us what's... Oh, sorry.
The aircraft is going to the left and just climbing now. Just how hard is it, that manoeuvre that he's doing?
Yeah, so for a helicopter, coordinated wing over, it's probably the quickest way to turn back around on itself if we need to go in the opposite direction. Marto's going to do 2 of these away from the crowd, so he'll come past crowd centre and do another one up and over to the left. Lasers in there too, so for our laser guided munitions, that's how we best target ID and then get weapons down range if the bad guys aren't playing the game.
You've got a crew, normally 3 on board, is that right?
That's right, yeah. So we operate single pilot in the Navy, so Marto will be sitting in the front row as the aircraft captain. Today's Sub Lieutenant is in the Cessna operator today is Petty Officer Cole, and she's operating everything and providing that information to the mission commander.
We saw in that underside cast there in the big round dish at the front.
Yeah, our surface edge radar. So in the both surface warfare, subsurface warfare, it's an incredibly handy tool to have. It can effectively for submarines, periscopes, enormous distances or let's say. Same if we increase our altitude for surface warfare, we can see stuff out at an incredible distance.
Has he got a capability to see any other aircraft, or is it just the surface?
No, yeah, it's got that also. It's not angled so high, like it's not necessarily designed for that, but it's got an inbuilt interrogator too, so we can prosecute airborne targets and see things in space.
Tell us what's going on now.
Yeah, so Marto puts stuff on the crowd, so he's just showing how to put the Seahawk for that, and it's just giving the crew to the opportunity to wave at everybody before he sets up to the crowd. So this one is just to expect obviously increasing the thrust and a lot of this, and also the towers and all that. Today is added surprise, flares stocked on board too, so if all the systems are working as they should be, we should see some fireworks at the top of the plane.
Fantastic. Tell us a little bit about that tail configuration, because that's a little bit unusual.
Yeah, Seahawks operate, I would say this is the standard configuration for a helicopter, so main disc and a tail rotor also. You can see the unique thing about the Hawk, it's got a 20-degree tilt to the side, just to help out with some of the stability and thrust there. Other stuff you'll see in the paddock today, you've got the Chinook, which has got the twin main heads, and the 135's got a slightly different tail rotor also.
Is this a camera opportunity?
Yeah, get your cameras out for this one. Hopefully it all kicks off in a second.
And the reason for flares?
It's our last ditch effort for if we get tracked and then locked onto by a missile. If we have to go all the way into a weapon engagement zone for whatever reason, and we do get lit up, then the flares will hopefully take the missile for us as we evade and get down to the ground level.
How do you store these on ships?
There's big armories all over ships, so everything on a ship has its purpose. So there's weapon lockers and flare stowage and all that kind of stuff, all separated from one another if there's a fire on the ship.
But the chopper itself, what do you do?
Yeah, so unique about this Black Hawk design is the Seahawk, the Navy version. It is effectively a big transformer, so it's got a switch in the cockpit where we can pull the blades in on itself over the tail, and the tail snaps in half on a hinge or folds up, and then you can sardine them in a ship. So we generally take one on most of our naval warships, and the US ships have 2 hangars that can fit a couple in there.
Now, if you're flying this at night in rough seas, what's it like to approach a ship at night? Just how difficult is that?
Yeah, it takes years. And it's been the most challenging phase of the
creature, though, it does do other things as well. What other missions does it undertake?
The Seahawk, like any helicopter, is a bit of a jack of all trades, so that's its primary role, and it is littered with weapons and sensors to do that, but we can also modify and take that stuff out to meet any demand that we're tasked for. So anti-surface warfare, or like what we've been doing the last few years, is all the national emergency work, so search and rescue, fire, floods, utility evolutions. We can put a cargo hook on the bottom, it's going to hoist out the right-hand side, so it can still do all those functions that you'd expect of a utility helicopter.
So if you're on a long-range deployment on a ship, you've got a resupply ship, is this the sort of helicopter you would use to provide some of that resupply?
That's right, yeah. And it's our relationship with the Americans kind of ties in seamlessly with that too. So that US supply ship generally will have their own helicopters, the Sierra model, so this is Romeo, and they a lot of the time leave them in a util configuration. So it's one of our own. We do that role, we balance between
Speak to us about your path to the cockpit.
Everything that I like to fly is dangerous so CT4 PCI, do those initial flights with the airports, onto the schools, before flying a few other little helicopters around, and then onto the Hawk 10 years ago. I was lucky enough to do my initial training in America over in Florida with the Americans, and then progressing through the categories to be an instructor at our training squadron along with Pardo. That is my current role.
This is my favourite part of this display.
Yeah, the helicopter really.
What's happening here?
So he's doing a non-standard, I would say, landing and departure is what you could call this one. So he's just effectively showing up at this point, and as he's a motorcycle enthusiast, wheeling the helicopter down the runway straight into what we call a Hollywood takeoff. So you seem to see that departure every single time in the movies.
You mentioned as well that obviously you started featuring aircraft just how much of a difference is it? Because earlier on you mentioned that if you went back to fixed wing, it would be quite a change really in the way you actually fly.
That's right, and it is a massive change. We do a thing called hover cam when we first go on to rodeo, essentially flying into a paddock and skills on planes are essential for our training. They only teach you skills to fly around Australia, but really that in the core skills of being an aircraft captain before we then ask you to learn how to hover.
Who's waving?
Are we going to see fixed wing aviation return to the do you think?
Well, who knows? Yeah. If, I don't know if we'd want to. Like if you can't hover, don't bother, obviously. And Rotary has a very lovely place in our hearts. So
Steve,
we'll see.
thank you for your expert input over the course of the week. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
The F-35A Lightning Do not move from your seat. Neil, are you going to be pulling this?
I am, and with me very shortly will be one of the ex-display pilots of the F-35. He is a very experienced classic Hornet pilot. While he's doing that.
Indeed, but this wing is going to be...
What happens when he winds up that throttle?
That's right, and this wing will be a little bit challenging for Matt today, so it could be a bit of a dynamic performance. However, just so that you know, there are lots of photographic opportunities in this particular display, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you have your cameras at the ready. What will happen is that Matt and Will begin the race at the northern end of the runway. The other end, Matt does have a bit of a handicap, and why is that, Julian?
Well, he doesn't have any direct traction onto the ground, is the main thing. He's just using it. Yeah, he's got is 600 horsepower direct on the ground.
They will then turn around and race. We'll be listening also into their radio. So we're just waiting here now, ladies and gentlemen, to your right, the beginning of the V8 supercars. Here we go. The actual race happening. Ladies and gentlemen, are we going to call it? Tony, I'm going to get you to call it.
Flemington straight, but it's not over yet. Matt has initial bragging rights. The V8 supercar will reposition. It can go from 0 to 100 in 3 to 4 seconds, so it's no slouch.
And we definitely have a second race happening here. Oh, do we have the race or do we have the display? I'm not quite sure. Okay, let's just run this. Doing a few beautiful rectangles and maneuvers there for the southern end of the runway. We're going to have a second crack at this race.
Julian, the crosswind today, what is Matt fighting against?
So he's got a few difficulties today, and the opposition is actually strong even on the nose.
Smoke on, here we go. What a second race, great photo opportunity here.
So you can see here now, he's slightly to the aircraft racing that he's been doing for some years. Still ready track.
Matt Hall is just one of the best fighter pilots out there. Top test class for the FAA and the F-15E Eagle for the US Air Force. While on exchange, he also served in Iraq as story and celebrated as a pilot. He's ready to get a mark.
Just as we're turning around at the southern end of the runway there, ladies and gentlemen, off to your left, tell you a little bit about Will Brown in the V8 supercar. He had his debut race in Repco Supercars at Sandown in 2018. He's currently leading the Repco V8 Supercars Championship after 6 rounds. Here they go again. Several top 10 finishes. He won the Melbourne Super Sprint, which was held at the F1 GP just a couple of weeks ago here in Melbourne. Here we go. Off and racing again from the left, ladies and gentlemen. If you're watching on the big screens, you'll be able to see the
but he's now
The intention here for landing is another photo opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. So don't put those cameras away. This will be a fun thing. Just a little bit more about Will Brown. His nickname in the team is Swill. I'm hoping that's okay. I mentioned that. 27 years old. 27 years old. He's from Toowoomba in Queensland. And in January 2024, in the
centre of the runway, and cameras at the ready because there's a great photo op coming.
So make sure you give Matt Hall a big wave because he is actually having a bit of a look at the crowd every once in a while. We'll be making sure he doesn't have to go anywhere near that Red Bull car. For the crowd to be waving, upstanding and waving at the opening act of the Avalon Australian International Airshow 2025. What is about to happen here we go. This is, as you say though, Tony, perfectly legal.
It is. It's legal on street drag racing. And you'll only see it here. Car versus car. It's really shit. I don't know about you, Julian, in your expert opinion. What do you think?
in terms of the matching, yeah, I mean, they're both top-performing machines in their categories. And I guess that does mean that they're, they're closely matched. They're quite big challenges, I have to say. And I think we might just get to see as he rolls, there's going to be quite a lot of footwork going on, in that cockpit. He's going to be fighting the wind, and he's got quite a lot of thrust coming off that propeller. So as he does run, you will see quite a lot of adjustments on the elevator, but a lot of rudder work.
And ladies and gentlemen, you should make sure, absolutely, at some point today, you need to go to the Avalon racing tent in the exhibition area and make sure you meet Will Brown. He's a fabulous guy. Just as Matt is taxiing into Taxiway Charlie, everybody give him a bit of a wave as he goes past. Okay, he does actually rest his aircraft in the Red Bull racing activities, and he's a reigning Red Bull world champion.
After a couple of very close finishes before that, just quickly before we let you go, Julian, blended wings, the winglets on an aerobatic aircraft.
Yeah, now this is really highly modified race only. You won't see this on the competition of aerobatic ways, but you do see it on the raceways, and it's doing the same slightly fantastic shot of the aircraft as it's steaming along at, what is that, 10 feet? And those winglets are making the aircraft much more efficient, so he's getting an awful lot more out of the wing. And then plus it's been modified up to 14G, so she can really spin around the sky.
So what's Matt working on here? What's he doing with his feet?
Yeah, so you can see he's going to be side-slipping the aircraft to stay in left clear formation with the car. And then he's using the rudder to keep the aircraft slightly pointing away. And then side-slipping to the left. So you can see how smooth it is. He's
You flying this? Yeah. But who's flying it today? Well, they also have a big smile on the face.
I hope so. I'll be disappointed if not. KP's the display pilot now. Kurt Pitts, he's one of the instructors at number 2 operational conversion unit up at Williamtown.
And how long has he been taking to become the display pilot?
We are rolling from the right. Yeah, we should be as well.
gives us about an extra 2 to 3 G tolerance.
It's true to say that not only is he wearing a G-suit, but he's got essentially no vest on, his helmet, his full of equipment. It's
Something but he's Airbus sunnies on as well. Look in the car, I reckon.
possibly a mirror to look into.
Here we come again from the right, ladies and gentlemen, the F-35A Lightning.
Pretty strange there. Look at that as well.
Speaking of stealth, the streamers off the wing and everything.
That's good. What have we got coming up?
Just repositioning there. Yeah, we're taking it pretty close. Camera roll, it's on there. Wouldn't fly without the computers. It's pretty easy to tell people if you were flying on, they just turn everything off. So no engines, no electrical power, just control. You can't sort of, like a Cessna, turn everything on, just glide in sort of thing. We can glide a little bit, some sort of power on the aircraft.
And this isn't exactly a Grand Pass fighter jet, is it? What sort of speeds are we talking about?
Just six times the speed of sound. Pretty quick. When you go through or up and above the mark number, it gives it a bum wobble to let you know it's gone through the sound barrier, but that's about it. But you don't really know apart from looking at the number in the screen.
And the aircraft is coming in from the right now. What do you expect KP to be doing?
Yeah, so slowing down, put the gear down. He's going to get a little wave to the young boys and girls we're trying to recruit. I was actually caught up with one of FTS's premier instructors, Bales, yesterday. Looking for more pilots, so
easy to fly this plane, but it's just all the other stuff that makes it hard.
The easy part, it's the interpretation of all the information the jet's giving you, and just trying to process and prioritise what's important right now, and then make quick decisions and actions in cockpit and also external to the whole flight.
And where does that fit into that?
It's giving you a lot of information as well. Who's trying to shoot you down, who you need to shoot, where your receive formation is. It's everything incredible.
Do you have a HUD, do you?
It's all built in. It's just the technology is insane. I used to say like that it's sexy for only the limiting thing, but I'd say it's more the pilot. The information that jet can give you is so much more, and that's where we practice prioritising what's important. Where it's in the classic economy, you may not see them on your senses, but just listening to the radios and stuff, we protest more aircraft. Now it's switched to 180.
And I guess that changes the whole tactical way you actually operate the jet.
Yeah, so ornaments normally kick the door down, everyone out of the way before it's got gone. If we can sneak around everyone and drop the bomb and get home without shooting yourself, then that is a mission successful.
And we're seeing a low pass coming in from a slow pass, I should say, from the right.
Yeah, so
just to prove how good this thing is at slow speeds.
yeah, so this is where we probably sharp a bit more than Supermodel, I reckon. We can get it back to 35 knots or 10 degree more. It's easy. It's 35 degrees. It's actually pretty much straight in the line. So it's just is the aircraft carrier version.
Did you describe it as airfield, beach, and carrier?
Basically, yeah.
That's how an F-35 pilot described it to us. Beach, because the Marines use the vertical takeoff and landing. Yes,
You're right.
I still think the classic one is the sexiest one.
Very space age.
The markings on the spine, I'm assuming that's for air to be refueled?
Yeah, there's an order just about halfway along the control in this one to refill off the boom. So we just fly formation and the refueling officer. They got little VR goggles in the cockpit and they fly the boom into the back of the jet. And we just stay there and you sort of feel it connect. So kind of a bit of a punch, a bit of a thud. Difference to like the Hornet where it's a basket weave. The pilot's got to do all the work to get the probe in.
Just so that we can get our cameras ready, what can we expect here, Bella?
So he's going to do the vertical departure here, pointing the crowd. He's going to do 9G pull in this one, and then go vertical on just got any flares, so he'll probably punch him as well.
Okay, he is from Brisbane. He's been
It's completely normal.
Compared to most pilots, we sort of...
Hopefully the F-16 Fighting Falcon.
Of the United States Air Force's Pacific Air Force. It's a brilliant display, the F-16. We have just seen precision military flying courtesy of the Avalon F-35. How many squadrons have we got? More of those guys?
We've got 4 squadrons in total, 3 out of Newcastle, 1 out of the Traffic, which is 2SU, where the squadron is here this weekend in KP.
and I remember
I don't think he'll disagree with that because no pilot wants to land and stop flying.
And the operational squadron of the F-35 is based in...
So 2 of those are at Newcastle, the operational squadrons, and then the 3rd one's at the Magpies at the 75 squadron in Tino, Catherine.
Here we go, we've got the wheels down for the landing.
we do have the wheels down. I think the crowd really need to get the scorpions of this one ready.
That's good, just put it on.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, to be honest, we'd really like him to go round, wouldn't we?
It just presents an extra photo opportunity, really. He's enjoying himself anyway.
It's an enjoyable car for a reason.
That is such a great way to put it. There's no point in
So
feel bad.
I'm looking at that number. What do you reckon?
I'll give it away already.
Yeah, sure.
I'd be calling it probably about now.
Yeah, if all the kids can scream out, go
No,
around.
everybody, you should just call out, go around, go around.
Yeah,
Go
good job.
around, yes.
He's heard us. He's heard us.
That is the refueling point.
How long does it take to learn that routine and get it to that level?
It's sort of 2 to 3 months. A lot of simulator work. Because you want to, like anything, you want to be able to just put the routine back to back and really have to think about it. So when you get in different air shows, there's always something a little bit different, sort of terrain, weather, and it becomes naturalistic that it just flows nicely.
Because this is just a single seat jet, right? There are no 2-seaters.
Yeah, the Hornet display, we used to have the previous pilot on the back for some handover flights where I sort of sat on the simulator and gave it some few points early on. The first time you fly this, you're by yourself. You start at sort of 5,000 feet and slowly work down until you get down to our base of 200 feet.
And exactly the same when you're doing a conversion. So you've done this before.
We get the students from the hall for the first time they fly this jet, they're by themselves.
There we go. There's a bit of a replay on the big screen there, Buggers. Tell us about the, you can see the F-toe happening.
On the day, we through the high-speed class, we had a full backseat to try and get a bit of out from GM, and I've got one photo where I managed to make the jet disappear. It's got a few faces. The flag disappears and the jet goes away.
Except for the orange bit at the back.
Yeah.
What you're saying, you have a photo with nothing.
It's a sawtooth around the also the afterburning of the F-35, which is to dissipate the
When you still fly, there's some sharp edges and angles and stuff like that, and it comes out this time. It's got special paint on it, so you don't want to sort of touch the plane or lick it, but that's absorbs the radar as well.
Phil Eldridge, KP, and we'd like to thank all the aviators who worked
To keep station with a very powerful aircraft over
this really shows. We also get practice in many conditions out in sail. Shows this year. Various instructors, so we go for the right.
What's the closing speed there, Drew?
Depending on what energy they've picked up from the Cubans, yeah, they're about 1,000 km an hour towards each other. They'll be now pulling G and looking through the top of the aircraft to make sure they have each other visual. Passing. How close are they going to get when they do that? 180 metres apart, which is why I've done this many times in practice to make sure that they're safely going to look for each other to get the next pass. That's 1, 3, 4, passing out very shortly, and 10 formation. So we're going to see various backgrounds, so rule 1, P3, rule 2, there's P3, then P8, rule 4 is also P3, then P8. That's also my background, rule 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, around the world. So as I mentioned, when you're doing the displays, is actually the lead, is he sort of going through
The gyros inverted.
inverted time there? Yeah, so rule 1 is on the shoots, he's going to be predictable and smooth with his maneuvering. His rule 1 through 4, so they're going to put him side as well. So the display is the pilot, the lead pilot is talking different cadence. Yeah, so we're lucky enough to see the snake and loop today, obviously, out the front right now. So leading into that, rule 1 was the call that they were going to be able to achieve that, and then one for each of those pods came through. So for most of the manoeuvres over the pods, the rest of the team, they were going to go to the manoeuvre, and they do that. See shortly 5 and 6 pulling up for the cards.
How dangerous is flying upside down?
It's not terribly dangerous as long as you're doing it all correctly. The main thing is you just have to ensure you've got the attitude set at the front and you're not distracted because aircraft's obviously
And this half today that we've seen in front of us, ladies and gentlemen, is dedicated to who, Roy?
all of our favourite fans that have come out to see us over the weekend and battled the weather and the dust.
Fantastic. Have you got a signing session today?
Will we have a static PC-21?
What, your camera's not focusing?
Whoever wants to
Oh, jeez.
poster and have a chat and discuss
What to focus on? So what to focus on?
PC-21.
Got it.
And to rock,
Focus isn't
Yeah, Jesus.
corkscrew. So obviously
Upgrade
this
camera
is
then. You might need to upgrade camera. Go and upgrade camera.
One. Ladies and gentlemen, two corkscrews. There we go. 4. Into the box in the middle, ladies and gentlemen.
And now we've got roulette 5 conducting us solo at the front. So throughout this, stop is following his standard 6G throughout some of these turns. So a lot of anti-de-stroke manoeuvre. This G-suit's working hard to keep the blood up his head. He's conducting 1-2 double aileron roll there. Derry turn, and then he'll exit stage centre back over top.
After the P8 and the P3, getting into a Ferrari like this would have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of time to come back up to speed with a small, nimble little aircraft and single-pilot instrument flying, but it is a lot of fun. It's quite different to the operations, so you do miss some of those operational aspects on the also flies aerobatics. He's got his own aerobatic airplane down in Sale. He flies that, so he tries to get into competitions when he's got the time, when he's not riding motorbikes or parachuting or doing whatever he's thought up to be doing.
And off to the right there, we're just saying 6 rejoin.
That's
How difficult is that?
5 rejoining. He's got a lot of practice in Dash 5 doing that rejoin, but it's always impressive to watch. There's a lot of anticipation in your energy and where the team is placed to get that right.
You're managing the energy as you're going towards the group.
Yeah.
They were banking, weren't they?
Yeah. So a lot of
Situational awareness. This looks impressive. What have we got happening here?
So they're setting up the rollbacks off to the right there, so you'll see 2 and 3 and then 5 and 6 conducting coordinated. Students had to fly from takeoffs and landings and then through to conducting high-load navigation surveys with helping there and earning their wings. So they move either back to an operator squadron or they go to Cessna flying school to learn how to instruct instructors like myself. I'm going through that phase at the moment. And then as part of the opportunities at Central Flying School, they offer the opportunity to do some formation aerobatics, and all going well, they'll be offered a position on the team, and they'll go through an intense workup over a number of months, working up to a 6-shift formation, as you're seeing here today, before they're cleared live for their first show. So we'll be going through that iteration of a new team coming into mid-year.
And do you remember well, it's obvious you remember your first show. Where was it?
So it's a little bit of a different role, so I get to be on the ground doing all this kind of stuff. But yeah, I certainly do remember the first few shows with the team.
Sorry to interrupt, but what are we going to be expecting here, Rui?
So they're setting up the fold, the bongo, so make sure you get the cameras ready.
All 6 in all different specific angles, right?
Yes. Yeah, Jet Aviation do a fantastic job of away with us. The aircraft, getting them airborne. We also carry some spare aircraft with us, which we're able to fly around. Got the Cessna camper as well, and that's manned by some of our instructor students and students.
And if you look at the screen, you can see the sealed marina DC-21, which is based in Airshow.
Fast and tight formation there. Just enjoying the sound.
It's a beautiful aeroplane to fly, isn't it, compared to the Z9? It's very, it's well it's very responsive. The large difference is all of the equipment inside as well. So it's a huge upgrade in terms of avionics and getting the students set up to go on to very modern operational fleets, fit-down fleets, fast cockpits, heads-up displays, and count them in. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Inbound. This is a standard manoeuvre, isn't it? Really, in any sort of pitch, basically.
Yeah, quick high pull up to 10 degrees, and then once you clear the formation, roll onto down into a very tight ground spacing and square landing.
So what they're doing here is they're actually spacing out so they give themselves a distance on the runway when they've landed.
Yeah, there's not a lot of distance between them when they are doing the stream landing, but it's a fantastic way to wash off all the energy to get to the safe area, as you see the fastest doing during the day as well.
How do you work up your routines? How are they introduced and rehearsed?
It does take a lot to introduce new manoeuvres and formation shapes into the standard show. That all goes through a lot of practice and validation before it's signed off to go and show publicly yet. So it can take, depending on the difficulty, it can take a number of weeks to months.
And once they're down, ladies and gentlemen, and they're stable and on the runway, we might be able to give them a bit of a wave.
Get the admiration of the crowd.
They'll enjoy heading down to the PC-21 static this afternoon and having a good chat to everyone else and hopefully enjoy the show.
And on the big screen here, we're seeing a bit of the replay of the action. Look at that smoke. How amazing. Our PC-21s.
They're a brilliant team of just dedicated professionals who give up their weekend, they're spending time away from their friends and family to bring us that world-class precision flying, aerobatic flying that you'll only see right here at Avalon. Brody, thank you so much and good luck with the rest of the tour for the roulettes for the season.
Thanks very much, Shane. Thanks, Ange. Thanks, Neil.
Thank you.
Yes. Now you can follow the roulettes on Facebook and Instagram at Air Force Roulettes. And don't forget to tag us in any photos and videos with the hashtag Air Force Roulettes.
And up next, maybe not as speedy, Tony, but nonetheless an incredibly interesting aircraft.
It is.
We have, what do we have up next, Tony?
Beach 18, an absolutely glorious relic from the 1930s. When we say relic, it's in fine fettle. Don't worry about that, it's beautifully made.
Capable of air refueling. That squadron of C-17s can put an entire battalion anywhere in the world in under 24 hours.
That is extraordinary because a battalion doesn't travel lightly. Using the lamps and lights on the top of it, it's communication aerials because you want to know where these things are at any given time.
So it's got satellite communication as well as the UHF and VHF comms.
Our commentator the other day was saying that it can take 4 Bushmaster vehicles really easily. They're about 14,500 kilograms each, something like that, 14.5 ton each. And he has seen one that was considered 5.
Rather than a
Performing another slow speed pass, but you will see during the pass that the wing leading edge slats and are very large. It's also got huge wing flaps. Each of these flaps is heavier than a pickup truck, really moves the engine diff down at slow speeds, allowing the C-17 incredible control in a directed lift configuration. Changing the shape of the wing to allow it for level final approach speed, enabling the aircraft to land on and stop on short, unimproved airfields. In a circle now around the airfield, showing high slow speed and demonstrating the advanced aerodynamic technology.
Since it's signal from the pilot's
times the capacity of the silicone set.
Now deploying, to engage those vertical verses. concludes today's demonstration on behalf of the men and women of the United States Air Force, Pacific Air Forces, and our Hitler Air Force Base, Hawaii Base crew. We thank you very much for being with us today. This is the United States Air Force on air. Stay safe.
You enjoy the rest of the show? Yeah, I remember reading lots about the Air Force Base, which was attacked on the day of Pearl Harbor, December 7th, 1941, and there were bullet holes in certain aircraft hangars, and the commanding officer to this day leaves them there. Mind that always be ready.
Welcome you to the long-awaited F-22 demonstration. I'm F-22 demonstration superintendent, Master Sergeant Brady Hummel from Kansas City, Kansas. As a proud member of the Air Combat Command's 1st Fighter Wing, located at Langley Air Force Base in Hampton, Virginia, it is my distinct pleasure to describe for you today a capability demonstration by the most technologically advanced 5th-generation stealth fighter aircraft in the world. The F-22 Raptor's mission is air dominance. It supports our joint forces and allies to freely operate in today's joint fight, anytime, anywhere. Now, introducing your 2025 F-22 demonstration team. From Gary, Indiana, Dedicated Crew Chief Staff Sergeant Gary Cool. From Hampton, Virginia, Assistant Dedicated Crew Chief Senior Airman Andrew Leitner. From Ogden, Utah, Avionics Technician Staff Sergeant Brady Scher. From St. Petersburg, Florida, Avionics Technician Senior Airman Nick Wisnowski. From Raymond, Georgia, Avionics Specialist Senior Airman Tessa Hickerson. From Coachella, California, Public Affairs Officer Staff Sergeant Michael Logan. And our team chief from Richmond, Virginia, Technical Sergeant Gary Tallman. Our safety observer for today comes from Willamette Falls, Oregon. Our is a combat-ready fighter pilot, Captain Andrew Larson. And your 2025 F-22 demonstration fighter pilot with more than 600 hours flying the Raptor from New York-Built, Minnesota, Captain Nicholas Laz Letourneau. You are about to witness the maneuvering capabilities of the most advanced and most lethal fighter aircraft in the United States Air Force. The F-22 you will see today is an unmodified and fully combat-capable aircraft. While we can't show you everything that makes the F-22 Raptor the most lethal fighter aircraft in the world, we will show you its raw power and thrust vector maneuvering capabilities as it executes maneuvers that no other combat-ready fighter aircraft in the world can perform. As today's demonstration begins, from your right, you will see the Raptor execute a maximum power takeoff, producing more than 30 kilograms of thrust from its powerful F-119 engines, allowing the Raptor to virtually leap off the runway at an amazing 300 meters. At a safe altitude, Captain Letourneau will quickly loop the aircraft, reversing its flight path and then roll while diving straight down. So now it's time to stand up, move forward, and get ready. The show is about to begin. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the United States Air Force's F-22 Raptor. direction with the amazing J-turn reposition. Possesses the ability to point its nose at will, even at extreme. Following the power loop, you'll see the rapid perform what's called the loaded roll. Pivots vertical and braces throttles to near idle, and then under complete control, actually slides backwards.
Straight to falling leaves.
The F-22's slow-speed handling characteristics are phenomenal. Watch now as Captain Letourneau repositions the aircraft to crowd right, reduces the power, slowing the Raptor down to less than 160 kilometers per hour, and loads up a high angle of attack. The pilot once again feel the raw power of the jet as Captain Letourneau lights those afterburners and climbs straight up into the vertical. Ladies and gentlemen, from the right, the Raptor's slow-speed pass.
I know I'm not the same. A lot of things have changed for me.
You only have one battery downstairs.
We thank you for your attendance.
What's it like do you have that you follow that remarkable jet around the world?
It is second to none. I will say this jet is phenomenal. Being part of the demonstration team is it's truly an honor, and being part of our family and all of these.
We can't tell you how happy we are to have you here, and thank you so much for being an extraordinary show.
We appreciate being here. We love going overseas. We love looking at Australia has been phenomenal to hang out there.
Just a quick question, just so that we know in the crowd, will you be taxing back from us?
He will not
Oh, he'll wave at it, right? Okay, so we'll give it a big wave, ladies and gentlemen, as we continue right tour. Taxi back, run away. I am so excited that you were here. Thank you so much for coming in and giving us that marvelous thing. I have something for you, and I know the cameras are.
You're all right?
Slightly different climate from Alaska. Thank you so much, Brady Fennell, and the entire F-22 Raptor demo team. You guys are superstars. Michael Beach, standing by. Good afternoon. Oh, good afternoon, and wow, what a display. I'm still kind of reeling from that. My ears are certainly reeling from it, but what a better segue into some more of our wonderful American friends who have joined us here at Avalon. I'm speaking to Chief Aeronautics.
Yeah, definitely. We love working together.
still fly right by. So coming from your right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Woody and Langers as they're going to be setting up and showing you the high maneuverability of the F-18. Coming from your right, you're going to watch them almost skid to an absolute halt, a technique we can use to fluctuate in reversal and gain new myself, I can tell you that it's an incredible aircraft to fly. State-of-the-art flight controls, help produce maneuvers that you thought never possible at altitudes as high as 50 meters off the ground. Ladies and gentlemen, as it is at slow speed, with a top speed of a Mach 1.8 or 2,000 kilometers per hour. The Super Hornet can quickly move into a defended area, strike its target, and leave whilst maintaining the element of surprise. Get your cameras ready as the Rhino is accelerated to over 1,000 kilometers an hour for a high-speed pass from the left. This is known as angle of attack, or known as alpha. The Super Hornet is capable of up to 50 degrees angle of attack in a dogfight. this slow speed performance. Is this the last show?
No, it's fireworks and some other stuff, yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you.
So,
Yeah, thank you.
To the 7.5 G limit on climbing vertically in the blink of an eye. Again, the crew across the bottom of the As some of the most combat capable and combat ready assets for the aviation protection of Australia headquarters and national interest. That readiness often means deploying, being away from family and friends. We would like to thank you, the community that support us in our duties. Please look to your right as boys conduct their final salute to you, ladies and gentlemen. Lighting burners and scoring the jet for one last time as they come past from your right. starts at 9 a.m. number 82 wing. Number 82 wing 1 and 6 squadron. We hope you enjoy this brief demonstration of the Rhino's capabilities, and we hope you enjoy the show.
That was just absolutely superb. Can we just say it celebrated its 15th anniversary of Australian Air Force service? That's dangerous flying, but the
24 tails, but yeah, as you say, pleasure remain and ready for after the pilots and the weapons systems officers on the front line at any one time. And this is a true testament to the men and women of number 1 squadron, number 6 squadron, to get these jets ready for us to go on demonstrations that we just saw.
Indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, remind you, there is still fireworks to come. The Pyros guys from Southern Cross Fireworks across the way, they've been working hard all day to bring you something special just to finish off this amazing Avalon Australian International Airshow 2025. Do not go away. You need your phones, you need to take photos, you need to be here after a couple of jet style flights, landings or something.
That's exactly what is ahead. It's the F-18F, the Super Hornet that covers. And stand by for the fireworks are about to happen. It's our way of saying keep it close to this experience.
It's an air show. Why wouldn't something change at the last moment? Yes, so Southern Cross Fireworks are the people that provided. Thank you so much, Clutch, for coming in and having us through that amazing F-18 display. Thank you again.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, the Southern Cross Fireworks supplied the wall of fire. Tony?
Spectacular. We started with that at the air show yesterday, and boy, the sight, the sound, the heat, the kinetic energy was all there. And they started yesterday. They're going to conclude for today. So the flying is over. We've ended on such a high point with a brilliant, super one operated by one squadron, Arnold Air Base Amberley, putting on a brilliant display. Fireworks.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, eyes to the front. Here we go. Daytime display of fireworks, but there you go.
That is a moving shot.
You know what? That's impressive.
How they organised the wind to do that.
That wind, and look at the stream. The stream there. That's actually really impressive considering it's during the day. Imagine what it would have looked like at 9 o'clock at night. But a stunning display there. Southern Cross Fireworks. Well, who would have thought? amount of how spectacular it was just with those little smoke plumes and the way that it moved across the sky.
I know.
Right on steroids. Imagine the whole thing's been on steroids.
Oh, look, Ed, what a way to wrap up, hey?
What an incredible week that we've had at Avalon. We've been here for the trade day shows. That is the conclusion of the flying display here at Avalon for 2025. Michael Fitch, thank you for your great work.
Such a pleasure. It's been wonderful getting out and meeting the pilots and the people and the planes and everyone involved.
Michael, we love working with you. Thank you very much.
You can tell my agent. Actually, I don't have one. What am I saying? It's been a great pleasure working with you guys too. And honestly, the pleasure on the people's faces walking around, the kind of just all the things that have happened. People don't mind. It's been a good show and they've had a darn good show over the